This is the story of the year 1812, when a Swiss adventurer was passing disguised through the Arabian desert. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, the name of this adventurer, lost his way and reached a narrow path between rocks. Walking between the two rocks for about 1.5 kilometers, eventually the path widened a little, and in front of him he saw a magnificent structure carved into a limestone mountain. Located in southern Jordan, this ancient structure in these deserted valleys, who made it and why? 127 feet high, this structure was not built, but rather carved into the mountain. Today it is called Al-Khazneh in Arabic, which means treasury, that is, where treasure is kept. Magnificent pillars rise from the bottom of the mountain, and at their tops delicately and beautifully carved designs stand out. A very large entrance that leads to a room. But no kind of designs were made in this room. Only the natural beauty of the stone can be seen. So this adventurer found the sight quite astonishing, and decided to go deeper into the rocks. Perhaps he was very close to discovering a lost city of history. Further ahead, he saw a theater carved from stone, with seating for almost 6,000 people. And a pathway leading to a structure resembling a huge temple. Some ruins indicating that a city must once have been inhabited here. Monuments were also seen built high up on the mountains. Burckhardt had discovered the ruins of a city that held great importance in history. This 2,000-year-old city is today known as Petra. But those who once lived here, how did they survive in this dry desert without water? Why did they carve structures into rocks? What was their business in this barren desert? And above all, why were they compelled to abandon it all? Welcome once again to the videos. Viewers, when the Swiss adventurer saw all this, he recalled a story about a tribe living in the desert. He had heard that in the Arabian desert, there was a tribe that traded silk and spices between China, India, Egypt, and Rome, and they used to hide their treasure by boring holes into high cliffs. In Greek and Roman sources, these people are referred to as the Nabataeans. They were famous as a nomadic tribe about 2,000 years ago, and they lived in tents in the desert. But how did people who lived in tents succeed in building such a magnificent city like Petra? After Burckhardt's discovery, Petra began to gain international presence. Archaeologists and historians from all over the world began to turn here in order to solve this ancient mystery. Obviously, a 127-foot tall construction, and not an ordinary one but carved into stone, is no small thing. The workers must surely have erected some temporary structure. Like even today, you may have seen around buildings during construction, a wooden structure is built on which workers stand to work. But not only on the Treasury, but on other structures in Petra, there are no clear traces that could give any indication about its construction. After much research and experiments, researchers found an incomplete structure in Petra, and perhaps the secret of its construction lay hidden in it. Looking at it, it seems that this is only the upper part of the structure, and the rest of the limestone below was never cut. This indicates that the Nabataeans started any structure from the top. Even in the construction of the Treasury, first they climbed up the sheer cliff and bored a horizontal shaft into the limestone mountain. Standing inside this shaft, they carved pillars and various designs, and then gradually proceeded downward. When the upper half of the structure was completed, the stone debris below would accumulate so much that they could now climb on its slope and easily complete the remaining half. Nowhere else in the world at ancient sites has such a construction method been seen. Researchers got a clue about this trick when they carved an identical Petra-like structure in America. The Nabataeans left very little writing in Petra. Only in 1 or 2 places something was found written in Aramaic script. This language was used in the Middle East during the time of Jesus. In this script it was written that this tomb is very sacred. Whatever is inside it should neither ever be altered nor removed. But inside the chamber outside which this was written, apart from a few shelves, there was nothing else. Looking at the size of these shelves, it was estimated that they were used to place dead bodies. This place was actually their burial chamber. More than 800 such chambers carved into the rocks of Petra have been discovered. Initially, it was also thought that perhaps this city was some kind of cemetery. But later, researchers also found some evidence here that indicated the presence of living people. By estimating the size of the living area, it was found that during its golden period, between 20,000 and 30,000 people lived in Petra. But a city of 30,000 people, and that too in a barren desert, then where did these people get water from? A clue is found in a structure in Petra called the Great Temple. Here some holes were found in the floor. It seemed as if water might have flowed beneath it. When experts scanned this place with GPR, ground-penetrating radar, an important clue came forth. GPR throws radio signals into the ground. These signals, when they hit different materials underground, return at different speeds. For example, when hitting soil, they return slowly, and in empty space, their speed increases. By seeing the speed of the signals, it is estimated where underground empty space exists. The results of the GPR showed that beneath the temple floor lay an entire network of channels. Like how before constructing a floor in a house, plumbing work is done. This evidence was enough to prove that Petra indeed had an underground water network. But where did this water finally come from? Because this place is among the driest places in the world. A water reservoir is still used today by locals, which is called Ain Musa. This natural spring provides water from underground. But the problem is that this is about 8 kilometers away from the Petra site. So now the question arises, how did the Nabataeans bring water from Ain Musa across 8 kilometers through rocks? A clue is found at the narrow entrance of the Treasury. Here traces of pipelines were seen between the rocks. Such pipelines which were joined in small sections. When water passed through these small sections of pipe, surely it would have leaked. But if water was so important to the Nabataeans, how would they allow it to be wasted? When water passes through any pipeline, naturally air pockets form inside it, which create pressure inside the pipe and reduce water flow. This pressure pushes the walls of the pipe from inside, and if there are joints in the line, water leaks from them. Hydro engineers conducted many experiments, and it emerged that if the pipe is sloped at an angle of 4 degrees, then no air pockets form in it. The water flow remains good, and there is no leakage. When experts looked at the angle of the pipeline laid in Petra, astonishingly, it was sloped exactly at 4 degrees. That means the Nabataeans knew about this scientific principle 2,000 years ago, which we have discovered only recently. After seeing all this, one thing is clear. The Nabataeans were masters of hydro-engineering. Water in Petra came not only from Ain Musa, but also from flash floods descending from the mountains. Even today, when flash floods occur here, they are quite deadly. To protect from these, ancient dams were built at different locations in Petra. Researchers have found about 5 ancient dams here, some of whose walls have been preserved for 2,000 years until today. These dams were not only used to store water, but also to protect the city from the devastation of floods. So far about Petra, we have learned that the Nabataeans living here traded between China, India, Egypt, and Rome. Their skill of carving structures into stone has not been seen anywhere else in the world. In the desert, their engineers managed to supply Petra with water. But one main question still remains. Why was the city abandoned? Why were the 30,000 people living here compelled to leave their city? From ancient records, we find out that in the year 363, a very dangerous earthquake struck. And in Petra too, there is rubble of such collapsed structures that can only be the work of an earthquake. Perhaps because of that earthquake, many structures of Petra fell, and the dams broke. After that, the very water that was the life of the city drowned their lives. Flash floods swept away the entire city, and the remaining infrastructure which the Nabataeans had built over many centuries turned into ruins. Now neither water remained here, nor any system. Traders changed their routes, and the people of the city gradually moved to other towns. Petra was given the status of a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. And if you have seen Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, the Temple of the Holy Grail shown in it is actually Petra's Al-Khazneh itself. Hopefully you will also thoroughly like and share this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.